Rinda and Ingel, a traditional German fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. There once was an old castle in the midst of a large and thick forest, and in it, an old woman who was a witch dwelt all alone. In the daytime, she changed herself into a cat or a screech owl, but in the evening, she took her proper shape again as a human being. She would lure wild beasts and birds to her, and then she killed and boiled and roasted them. If anyone came within 100 paces of the castle, he was obliged to stand still and could not stir from the place until she bade him free. However, when an innocent maiden came within this circle, the witch was filled with jealousy and rage. She had once been promised to marry the son of the duke, but he left the witch for a more beautiful woman with a red flower in her hair. In vengeance, the witch will take one of these unfortunate maidens and change her into a bird and shut her up in a wicker-work cage, and carried the cage into a room in the castle. She had about 7,000 cages of birds that were once maidens. Their sad songs made the witch dance with joy. Now there was once a maiden who was called Rinda, who was fairer than all the other girls in her village. She and a handsome boy named Ingel had promised to marry each other. They were still in the days of betrothal, in their greatest happiness of being together. One day, they ventured off to tell Rinda's beloved grandfather the good news. He lived in a village a ways away. Rinda and Ingel passed a hamlet famous for its perfume. As they explored the bunches of flowers and herbs, Ingel nearly fell over an old woman. "Oh, pardon me, mein Frau." "Oh, no harm done. I haven't seen you before around here. Are you passing through?" Ingel told her about his and his betrothed's journey. "This land is welcoming and safe, but beware the castle in the hills you will pass. Make sure your betrothed wears a veil, as not to make the witch who lives there jealous." It was a beautiful evening as they left the hamlet. Ingel insisted his beloved Rinda wear the veil. "I'm far too beautiful for this veil, Ingel. I would never hide my face." Ingel agreed that he would never want to hide her beauty, but argued it was better to be safe than sorry. The sun grew low, the wind grew harsh, and there was a sad chorus of bird sounds in the air. Rinda and Ingel argued so much, they realized they lost their way. A gust of wind blew Rinda's veil away. Rinda grew frightened. Ingel looked around and could only see an old castle. Rinda, not knowing what else to do, began to sing to comfort herself. "My little bird with the necklace red, sing sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. He sings that the dove must soon be dead. Sing sorrow, sir." The song was so lovely, it took a moment for Ingel to realize that the sounds coming from Rinda's throat weren't a person's. In place where she was, there sat a small nightingale. Ingel could not move. He stood there like a stone and could neither weep nor speak nor move hand or foot. The sun had now set. An owl flew into the thicket, and directly afterwards, there came out of it a crooked old woman, yellow and lean, with large red eyes and a hooked nose, the point of which reached her chin. She muttered to herself, caught the nightingale, and took it away in her hand. Ingel could neither speak nor move from the spot. The nightingale was gone. At last the woman came back and said in a hollow voice, "I shall let you go, boy, but only so I will know that you shall live the rest of your miserable life without your beloved." Then Ingel was free. He fell to his knees before the witch and begged that she would give back his Rinda, but she said that he should never have her again and went away. Ingel walked alone and once again found himself in that hamlet from before. The old woman he ran into on the street poked her head from the window and called his name. "Boy, where is your beloved?" "Her veil blew off, mein Frau. I fear the witch has turned her into a bird. I shall never see her again." "Don't worry, my boy. Here." She handed him a wilted red flower from her hair. Take this and free your beloved. She once tried to turn me into a bird as well, when the man she loved left her for me." Day and night he journeyed with this flower to the castle. When he was within 100 paces of it, he was not held fast, but walked to the door. Ingel was full of joy. He touched the door with the flower, and it sprang open. He walked in through the courtyard and listened for the sounds of birds. At last he heard it. He went on and found the room from whence it came, and there the witch was feeding the birds in the 7,000 cages. When she saw Ingel, she was angry, very angry, and scolded and spat poison and gall at him. But she could not come within 2 paces of him. He did not take any notice of her, but went and looked at the cages with the birds. But there were many hundred nightingales. How was he to find his Rinda again? And then he saw the old woman quietly take a cage with a bird in it and go towards the door. Swiftly, he sprang towards her, touched the cage with the flower, and also the old woman. She could no longer bewitch anyone. And Rinda was standing there. She embraced him round the neck, and she was as beautiful as ever. The witch reeled back and tried to run. Ingel and Rinda began opening the cages one by one. And one by one, the 7,000 maiden-turned birds flew and pecked at the old woman as she tried to escape. No matter the form she took, cat, owl, more and more birds pecked at her until she was torn apart. That sad songs of the birds were turned to sounds of joy as they drowned out the witch's shrieks.